Okay, welcome to our second First Four press conference this afternoon. We have with us University of Incarnate Word Cardinals, and we have head coach Jeff Dow next to me. Next to him is Tiana Gardner, Jr. Next to her is sophomore Jacqueline Moore, and next to her on the end is sophomore Destiny Terrell. So we will start today with a opening statement from Coach Dow, and then we'll have questions for the student athletes.
Well, obviously, we're just elated to be here. It's been a whirlwind of activity, winning 4 games in 4 days, and obviously culminating with the championship Sunday afternoon. And this is clearly a big deal, not just for our program, but for our athletic department and our university as a whole. And of course, having only been Division I since 2013, this is a huge step, forward for all of us. So excited to be here to represent our university, obviously represent the Southland Conference in what is our last year in the Southland Conference. So like I said, just really excited and really proud of everybody in our program, and obviously these young ladies to my right as well, with everything that they've kind of overcome this year and really embracing the underdog role and obviously doing a great job in this past week.
So now we'll take questions for our student athletes. Just raise your hand, we'll get a mic to you.
I guess we'll talk for the players, all three of you, just about the week you've had. I mean, what specifically clicked heading into the conference tournament to lead the success and kind of make that run?
Start with Tiana and go down.
It was definitely a really exciting week. I don't think we had any negativity or any doubt heading into it. Like, these are teams we have played before. We competed against every single one of them, splitting with a couple, and so we knew that if we wanted it, we could take it. It was going to take a lot of hard work.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, coming into it, we knew we had our struggles. Our regular season, our record, I feel like didn't show what we were actually capable of doing that we all knew we could do. We've been in a lot of close games, and we were able to close them out in the tournament and make things work. Yes.
Yeah, same thing for me. Like, I think we just had a lot of confidence going into the tournament. We knew we could hang around and play with any team. We didn't play our best every single game, but in the game it was kind of win or go home, and that was our mentality throughout the whole tournament.
So Destiny, we're going to keep the mic with you, and I'm going to ask each of you, you said close games. 19 of them is what I counted in single digits, and you won the tournament championship in overtime. Talk about the mental state, the psychological digging deep to win a game.
Yeah, it definitely took a lot because the 2 games prior to that, we were up by a lot. So for us to be close in that game, it didn't have me necessarily worried, more so nervous. And it was like a pretty big game. So it's kind of like we can actually do this. So it was definitely nerve-wracking throughout the whole night, the day of the game, in the game, overtime, all that. It was just very, very nerve-wracking. But, I mean, we had been in situations like that before, so it wasn't nothing new. So it was okay.
I think the mindset for a lot of us, once we did go into OT, even in the fourth quarter, we just knew we had to get stops. Offense is going to come, but you can always play defense. You can always get stops, and that can also help carry into your offense. So that was my mindset. I'm sure it was partly theirs too. Of course, I was slightly nervous, but I knew once we had 5 more minutes of the game, it could go either way. But I knew we would pull it out. And then Coach Dow actually told us, when we pull this off, it's just going to make it that much sweeter. So,
Yeah, I think definitely it was just we had to be mentally strong and stay mentally in it. The physical aspect wasn't even a question. We just knew going into overtime, this is kind of where you have to dig deep and just pull it out. At that point, just who wants it more.
Being here in Columbia in an atmosphere that, women's basketball is so greatly, watched here with Dawn Staley and the dynasty that she's built here, I guess, what does it mean to you guys to be able to play in this arena?
It's incredible. This is an arena that you see on TV, and it's am I ever going to get to play there? Am I going to see that in person? So it's just really cool to even be here.
I don't want to sound like a fangirl or anything, but I actually am a huge South Carolina fan. So to potentially get the chance to play them is actually crazy. Honestly, just being here is crazy. Like it feels incredible.
Yeah, I agree. Like when we walked in, we like kind of seen the court, and I was like, imagine like watching this court, seeing this court every Sunday, and now we're going to be able to play on this court. It's kind of crazy. Like we're here. That's the thing. It's just we're here. So.
For the players, obviously this is such an emotional week for you guys. Have you been able to kind of balance the chaos of March Madness and getting ready for travel and packing your bags and getting ready for this trip, along with the fact that, hey, we got to play tomorrow night against a team that, that matches up pretty well?
Yeah, obviously we have to prepare, but I feel like winning those 4 games, we didn't have much time to prepare for each team, but I feel like we were able to do it back then, so I feel like it should be nothing now. Like, we're going to have practice. We'll figure out a way, basically.
Yeah, of course, in the tournament, like, you don't even have a full day to prepare for the teams. We watch film twice. We play the game, then we watch film twice the rest of the day. That's all the time you really get to prepare. No shoot around or anything. So it's kind of just like, now we know how to have those quick turnarounds, and just like, even just like traveling here the next day after winning the championship was like a quick turnaround as well. But now we know how to, like, I guess, push through that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Jocelyn and Destiny. Like, playing the 4 games in 4 days is definitely like a momentum thing, and I think it definitely helped us prepare for the flight we had today or yesterday, and just being ready to play for tomorrow.
So, question I'm going to ask each of you, and Coach, I'm going to ask you too. So be prepared when I ask you. So for the fans here tomorrow night, tell them what they can see. What are they going to see when they see UIW on the floor?
Oh, okay.
He goes last.
Oh, okay, sorry. Well, I think what the fans are going to see is like a group of girls out there working hard, having fun, taking advantage of this moment, and not letting things go for granted.
Yeah, I think you'll just see, like Tiana said, a group of girls out there playing with a lot of heart, a lot of momentum. Just got to carry in things that we've been doing from the tournament, just carry it over into this game as well.
Yeah, basically, we're just going to play hard, regardless. Play hard every single possession. All we have to do is play hard every possession, and whatever happens, happen. If we know we went out there and gave it all we got, then that's all we can do.
Any other questions? We got.
Specifically for Tiana, a huge performance throughout the tournament for you, tournament MVP, big championship game performance for you. Is there anything that you learned about your game, whether from the mental side or just execution side, that you felt you came out of the tournament better because of it?
Definitely just like my free throws. Even like in practice in a couple games like prior to that game, like I would get really frustrated when I was like missing my free throws. And so it honestly really did build my confidence that I was able to knock those down like in the situation that we were in. And it just gave me more confidence to even like make just regular free throws like in any part of the game, not just like at the very end.
So obviously first title for you guys, and then first trip to the NCAA tournament. So this will be a season, a team that will be, go down in history, but not only for your guys' achievements, but I guess what else do you want to be remembered for, or what do you think this season will be remembered for besides those big achievements?
Tiana, how about you, and then go all the way down?
I'm so sorry. Can you repeat your question?
Just, I guess, aside from, being in the history books now as the first team to make it to the NCAA tournament, what else do you want people to remember about this team that they might not see past the record books?
I would definitely say, honestly, like even like looking at our record, like things that aren't what they seem. Like we were counted out by a lot of teams. Like even some of the teams we faced felt like we didn't beat them, someone else beat them, not us. So it's even the fact that like that it was just us that went out there and we were just kind of like counting out, and we became victorious at the end.
Yeah, before every game, well, Coach Dow would say this is the biggest game in UIW women's basketball history. So like, I don't really think it added like a pressure mindset. It kind of just like give a chance to make history. So now I feel like being here, we already did make history. We have another chance to make history again tomorrow. So that's, I guess, the mindset I'm coming in with.
I think it's something I want people to remember of, that we're not going to give up. It's no matter what happens, we're not going to give up. Like we got swept by some of the teams that we beat by 20 points in the regular season. So, yeah, basically we just didn't give up throughout the whole season.
Yeah,
that it?
Sorry. I think us Cardinals, us big cards, so definitely.
That's right.
Yeah, we can definitely are like proven that like the game's not over until it's over. Like whether it's like the buzzer beater against Nichols or whether it's up 4 with 11 seconds left and then going into overtime and still winning. Like the game's just not over until it's over.
Anything else? Well, thank you for our student athletes. Now we have Coach Dow, questions for him. And I'm going to start off with the one that y'all already answered. What will the fans see tomorrow night?
They will compete. I don't mean to be redundant. I didn't realize it was 19 games in single digits, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's 20, one way or the other. But and we won our share of close games. We lost our share of close games, but obviously we're coming in on a high. We're a very confident group, a very loose group. You use the word history. I think that's something we were trying to sell them on. Obviously before the Thursday 11 a.m. game, we were in the 11 a.m. bracket the first couple days. We talked about, as Jocelyn alluded to, biggest game in school history. UIW had not qualified for the conference tournament until the previous 2 years, hadn't even made it. 2 years ago it got canceled, because of COVID, about 2 hours before tip-off. Last year we got beat in the first round. And so I almost think, and they might not agree, but in some respects the first game might have had the most pressure attached to it, just winning the first one. And like Tiana mentioned, we were down 5 with 13 seconds left, and Jocelyn Moore went on a 6-0 run to finish the game and make the buzzer beater to win that. At that point, not that these guys know much about gambling, but I said we're playing with house money at this point, so we cannot lose. And then obviously played phenomenal in the second game against McNeese State, and then blew out the number 1 seed in the semifinals. And so I think nerves might have got us a little bit there in the first quarter against Southeastern when it was tied at 5-5 after one quarter, but we settled down, and it's a confident group. It's a loose group. We really had to adjust on the fly with all the, we have 3 season-ending injuries, unfortunately, and we've got players playing new positions on the fly, and Chloe Storr has completely learned a new position the last week, but out of necessity. But again, they'll play together. Very, very spirited group, and like these guys have said several times, they're not going to get too fixated on the scoreboard, one way or the other. We had it wasn't looking good. We were down 5, and I'm already crafting my post-game speech as to what I'm going to say, and then Jock did what she did, and I was also feeling really confident. We were up 4 with 11 seconds left, and suddenly we found ourselves down 2 with a couple seconds left. But they'll be ready. And like I said, to their credit, Jocelyn alluded to it, we obviously had to turn around day after day after day, a couple quick film sessions, and adjust a few things of what we do defensively and offensively, and so I said I'm confident in this group and the mental preparation they put in, and obviously my assistant coaches, and what a great job they do, and not just preparing them, but preparing me as well, and so they'll, like I said, I think, sometimes it, comes down to making shots, getting rebounds, making your free throws, that kind of thing, but like I said, I'm confident they'll be ready to go.
Sounds good. Questions?
Same question I kind of asked the players, but in a coaching perspective, with your coaching experience of building a program, a women's basketball program like Dawn Staley, I guess what does it mean for you to be able to come out on this stage in Columbia where women's basketball is so greatly appreciated here?
Oh, it's huge. Obviously, I'm not trying to age, both myself and Coach Staley, but I remember watching her play in the Final Four years ago, and I was just so, I was very early in my coaching career, just so impressed with. She's not very big, she was a diminutive player. She's a diminutive coach, and she was so tough and so talented. And then, it did surprise me, obviously, the success she had as a professional. And if I'm not mistaken, it was either her first or second year at Temple as the head coach. I was an assistant coach at Santa Clara. 20 years ago. We got the better of her that night, so I'm 1-0 against Thompson. I was an assistant, but nonetheless. So, and she's obviously one of the biggest figures, not just in our country but worldwide, in terms of what the impact that she has had in women's basketball. So, I know I've heard these guys use the word surreal, more than once the last couple days, and it's almost surreal just being here and standing and sitting here at this podium, and obviously the opportunity to play tomorrow night, I think is great, for obviously for the university and our program as a whole. So, and just, we're still a relatively young team. This is kind of, the old lady, right here, the junior, and it's all our rotation right now is pretty much just sophomores and juniors. So it's going to be good for them going forward in the future as well.
And you had just mentioned the feeling of it being surreal, but for you as a coach, the last 36, 48 hours, what has it been like for you just personally to kind of decompress from winning the championship to all of a sudden recompressing because of just the craziness of traveling and getting your team ready for a game on Wednesday night? What's it been like for you?
Juggling a lot of stuff. I think all the tears have finally come to a style. I started to tear up a second ago when these guys were talking. I got it together quickly, but like I said, it's just the elation and the highs and everything you put into it. As a student athlete or as a coach, strength coach, everybody, everybody's role, and then of course you have to quickly switch gears, and then my wife and I have two small children, 9- and 6-year-old daughters, and they're on the trip as well, so we're you're trying to juggle the personal level. You got to get your laundry done, all those things. All right, who are we playing? And then you're up on Synergy trying to download their film and figure out how we're going to guard them and all those things. But again, house money, and let's just enjoy it. And that's one thing that I want these guys and everybody associated with our program. Let's enjoy the experience. We want to win. Don't make sure we're no confusion there. We definitely want to win tomorrow night, but let's just enjoy it. These things are hard to come by, and I know in my 32 years, and a fair amount of those as Division II head coach, but also Division I assistant and head coach. As I say, if it was easy, everybody would do it, and there's only 68 of us, that are playing. So enjoy it. Be very appreciative of the entire experience.
It kind of gets to a bit of a normalcy, having practice coming up and being able to just get on the court and just kind of go through the X's and O's. What's your goal for practice today to best prepare the team for tomorrow night?
Well, obviously, I'll tell you the practice plan. We're going to get shots up both ends of the floor, do some position work, just try to, fine-tune some things. We'll go over, defensively, how we're going to guard certain actions that they run. We always make a point of rehearsing the first 3 plays of the game. So there's we're going to carry that over into tomorrow. Get some free throws up, injury-free. We'll make sure over the course of the next 90 minutes, nobody will run into anybody and keep everybody healthy. And, just try to, like I said, just try to prepare them as much as possible. Obviously get them comfortable, with the arena and shooting at both baskets and that type of thing as well, too. So, but again, not over-analyze everything, and again, I'm going to sound like the coach in Hoosiers. The baskets are going to be 10 feet high, free throws are going to be 15 feet, court's 94 feet, so let's not overthink it either.
Anything else? Well, thank you so much for coming, and good luck tomorrow night.
All right, thank you very much.
Take care. A recording of this press conference will be available in the NCAA Digital Hub at www.ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Good luck.